What's going on, everybody? Gentleman94 here. Welcome back to 3GB Solo Play and our continuation of Demon Souls. And today we are going to be tackling the Shrine of Storms, World 4-1. I have no idea why I'm going into this world at this level. I probably should wait. I should go back to a different level and work through something else. But, I want to go ahead and move to this one because there is a couple of things we can grab out of this level that will be, I think, of good benefit to us. And here we are, Shrine of Storms. This is actually the one area that when the servers were fully active and everything like that, we could go here almost any time of the day and we would have PvP. This was a great place to come and to get some souls. You can see that gentleman up there. I think that's Satsuki. And I think Satsuki is some sort of wandering Ronin. And he usually wields a sword called the Makoto. And one of the things you can do, one of the quests you can perform in this area here is to actually come back in pure white tendency and get the Makoto, and then come back to the world 4-1 and give him the Makoto. That's a quest line that you can complete. Either way, you'll have to kill him. So it's not really that big of a deal to give it to him or not to give it to him. He's also a black phantom in pure black tendency, if I remember correctly. So the skeletons in this level are annoying, and they can drain your life really, really quickly. And they hurt a lot. We're also going to run across what we've always called the dual swordsmen, the Black Knights. They dual wield Uchi-katana samurai swords, and they can absolutely destroy you. These guys have pretty heavy attacks. We always like to do backstabs on them because it kind of helps us in an invincibility frame so that we can go ahead and perform our backstabs and not worry about the arrows that this guy is shooting or the other guy up there, or the two guys above that, or the other guys above that. I mean, this level is pretty chock full of skeletons. This is one place that you actually could come, though, earlier on in the game to level up, because each one of these guys will net you a nice chunk of souls. So you keep running this particular area, warping out, coming back, and you do alright for yourself. That's one way to go ahead and get your level up a little faster than just as the game goes along. So you get about 294 souls, and that's without silver bracelets. So if I put on the silver bracelets, we get close to maybe 310, maybe 300, 305, somewhere around there. So we have to kill the archer. The archer can be a bit of a nuisance because he will just snipe at you after a while, and he will escape. Look at this, he's stuck on my body. That's one thing I kind of miss about Dark Souls 2 is the ragdoll effect for some of the enemies. I mean, yeah, it was silly, but it was kind of funny to see how far you could flip throw some of the enemies. So again, I'm going for some backstabs here. I should probably talk a little bit about backstabs, because I personally was a user of backstabs and parries, and I wasn't necessarily a big fan of them in Dark Souls 1 because they would be exploited. But here in Demon Souls, I think it was a pretty good tactic, especially against harder enemies. And PvP, you got your guys who would turtle up and wait for a perfect opportunity to backstab you. And in Dark Souls 1, they would actually try to lure you into a backstab, try to fish for backstabs, and that's usually how they end up killing you. There's rings and things that would increase your chances of doing major damage in Dark Souls 1. And in Demon Souls, you have something called the Fatal build, which would then increase your backstab damage. There's a little bit of a secret off to the side here. We can actually forego this entire fog gate by rolling up on top of a ledge. I'm too heavily armored and I don't really want to waste time. I didn't find out that till much later in our playing through this entire area, so it's not really that big of a deal. We can actually open up another shortcut as well, and I'll show that to you as we're going along here. So through the fog gate, we're going to start getting into the real difficult areas here in this level. And there's a couple of enemies you're going to face that can aggravate you a lot. One, of course, is the dual Black Knight swordsman guys. Those Uchi-katana wielding swordsmen suck, and I wouldn't recommend shooting them or fighting them unless you're absolutely ready to take them on. One is out through the left door there. We're not going to go fight him right now, though. We're going to go up the stairs and we're going to go grab a copper key, and I'll show you that when we get there. We have to kill off a couple of skeletons. So we have two skeleton archers. We have one of these scimitar. I think it's a falchion. One falchion wielding skeleton, so we're going to take care of him. And then we have to take out the 2 archer skeletons. And then there is an actual area over here we can use later on as a shortcut, and I'll show that to you later, I'm pretty sure. We'll knock off a couple of these skeletons here, kill some of these guys. Oh, whoops. That's alright. That's fine. Not to worry, not to worry. See our old friend there from very first tutorial level? Yeah, I hate him a lot. He's not very easy to beat either way you look at it. You can range him, which is one way to do it. You use a lot of arrows to kill him, or you can try to duke it out with him and cut his feet up with your axe or sword or whatever you have. We'll get to that later on though. So right here actually you can roll off this section and onto the top of that wall right there, and you can drop off to the right side, and that'll get you actually bypassing the entire level. I'll show that to you later though, because I have a feeling we're probably going to die eventually. It's a good idea to go ahead and conserve that for later. It's got the copper key, and the copper key is going to allow us to unlock Grave Robber Blige. And Grave Robber Blige is a great guy to have because he sells arrows pretty cheaply. So we want to make sure we rescue him from 4-1. You can see that little glowing orb over there. That's actually a dead body, but sitting on top of that dead body there's a crystal gecko there. I tell you, I hate crystal geckos so much. I think it was one of the creators of the game said they really liked the idea of the crystal gecko. I don't know why. I hate the crystal geckos. They are annoying, especially in this game, because if they disappear and you don't kill them, I mean, you got to come all the way back, warp out, warp back in for it to reset the whole level. And then once you kill them, I think you have like 4 times you can kill them, and then after that they don't show up anymore the entire game or something like that. They're just a nuisance, and I don't think that the payoff necessarily is always good, because all they drop is stones. So sometimes you need some perfect stones, and they do drop perfect stones, and they have a good opportunity and good drop rates, but your luck has to be pretty high. You usually have to have a Sword of Searching, which I don't think I'll make in this playthrough, and you have to have a good amount of luck yourself kind of built in. It's a nuisance, and I don't particularly like fooling around with the crystal geckos, so it is what it is. So we're going to go all the way up to the top of the tower here. We're going to fight this dude. Here we go. Come on. Gotta fish for that backstab on these guys. Alright. Couple attacks here. Oh, God. That attack is just brutal. Alright. Backstab. Oh, nope. Missed the backstab. But I got him. He's dead. So you see 2 doors here. This one here leads up to a tree where you can trade items. It's our old friend Sparkly the Crow. He shows up in Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Dark Souls 2. Over here, that right there is a bow. Pretty sure it's a compound longbow or compound shortbow, one of those two. I'll come back for that a little later. We're going to work through the rest of the level though, and we should probably go up and get that dead body where that crystal gecko was as well. We got to handle these guys first. Good idea is to kind of range attack them, pull them in, so that then you can go ahead and kill them. So anyways, I was talking about backstabs a little bit ago. Backstabs in this game weren't really seen as a bad thing compared to what they were in Dark Souls. In this game, you had particular builds that were built completely around the idea of backstabs, such as my Fatal build. I used a Fatal S-Stock +5. I used very light armor. And I used, I believe I used a Grave Robber Ring for Black Phantoms and a Thief Ring for PvE stuff. I also used, I think, an Uchigatana. It may have been a sharp Uchigatana or something like that. But yeah, the whole idea was really just to use the backstabbing ability of your character coupled with some rings and some armor and a very particular type of weapon. You could do a lot of damage with backstabs and with parrying too. Because there's actually 2 ways to go ahead and utilize the Fatal build. You can backstab or you can counter and parry. You can actually double your, I think it does like double your damage with a Fatal weapon if you counter and parry, and there's a certain amount for backstabs as well. So I would always use a backstab or counter and parry tactic if I was running my Fatal build. I also had a Blue Blood build that used the Blue Blood sword that was based off of luck. So the higher your luck was, the more damage you end up doing. So I mean, there's a lot of little things here in the game that I remember that was a lot of fun, and one of them really was the backstabbing aspects. Now Dark Souls 2 ended up being a little harder to get backstabs, and I actually applaud them for that, because Dark Souls 1 it got ridiculously easy to backstab people, especially lag stab. Lag stab was always a trouble in Dark Souls 1, especially for me, because my connection is not necessarily the greatest connection. I think I have one step above the very standard here for my carrier, and it's not great. I mean, it's good enough to get me through some of the multiplayer areas, and I can co-op with my friends easily enough. Once it starts getting a lot of traffic online, I start to bog down. That ends up exacerbating the situation, and I just got lag stabbed like crazy in Dark Souls 1. Haven't been lag stabbed in Dark Souls 2 yet. Just throw that out there. I have not been. I haven't noticed actually any noticeable lag in Dark Souls 2, which is pretty freaking awesome if you ask me. Because, I mean, here I am, I'm a big fan of the Souls series, and Dark Souls 1 left a really bad taste in my mouth due to all the lag and all of the issues that I had with the game. But Dark Souls 2 is redeeming itself, definitely. Now, the copper key is used to unlock this door here, and this is the jail cell here, and we're going to rescue Grave Robber Blige. And here is the grave robber himself here. Yes, I did save you, didn't I?
Oh, you saved me. Heavens,
Alright, so we got stuck in a trap. I'm not sure exactly how. And he is free now. So let's see what he has to buy. So you can buy some grass, which is always good. Some spice, some soul remains. And, oh, got some cloudstone shards, some scimitars, things like that, leather armor and all of that. So that's good if you need that sort of stuff. What we're interested in are the arrows. Wooden arrows, which are just kind of cheap arrows, and then the regular arrows, which are decent enough for right now. So we probably end up buying a few of the regular arrows. Probably not 415 of them, because that would basically take all of my money. So, I don't know, let's see here. Let's do like 120 maybe. Probably would work alright. Yeah, about 120. Okay, and that is that. It doesn't really have much next time for us either. So we'll grab whatever this is, some souls here. Always a good idea to get soul remains and souls, and just grab everything you can. It'll definitely help you. So all the way down the end of this aisle, we're going to run into a trap. It's a fake wall. Hit the wall will disappear. You'll see a pressure plate right here on the floor. That's a bad thing. If you get hit by that, it will stun you and most likely kill you, especially if it hits you from behind. So there's our dear friend, and we have a few of these flying manta rays. I want to take these guys out because they have this really weird attack where they shoot this like barbed harpoon at you, and it does a huge amount of damage. And a couple of them can hit you at one time, and that's even worse. So let's grab a couple of these items here. Let's grab this. Some unknown soldier soul. That's cool. Some good for some souls. Right down here, if you're in Black Tendency, you have to fight a Black Phantom down here. The Black Phantoms are kind of difficult, you know, to say the least. Another Cloudstone. Always a good idea. Cloudstones can be used to upgrade your shields. Alright, so in the corner here, we have one of my favorite weapons in the game, the Uchigatana. And the Uchigatana is one of those weapons that I use on almost every single build I made. I always had at least one or two Uchis. Dark Souls, I tried to do a few other Uchi builds. I used the Uchigatana, I used the washing pole, used a couple of other things. They were okay. There was one particular one that had this crazy like R2 attack that was kind of you charge and like dash forward, so I liked that one. I forget the name. The Iato, I think it was. Oh, I rolled too late and I died. Dang. This is kind of why I like having quick and fast rolling ability. So we're going to skip that and we'll be right back. Okay, so we are back now. Got my souls. And yeah, that guy absolutely sucks. So let's grab our arrows here and kill some of these dudes. No, I missed. Oh, that guy's shooting at me too. Come on. I hate these guys so freaking much. Here's the thing. For as awesome as this game was, there were a couple of levels in it that I just absolutely hated. This was one of them. Not because of the PvP aspect or because of the summoning aspects. No. I hated it because of these stupid flying manta rays. You get these in the next level too, in 4-2, but a lot of what you do in 4-2 is actually indoors. So they don't really affect you all that much. They do give you some easy souls. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that, really. But they're just so annoying, especially when you get really close to the edges of cliffs. They can hit you and they will kill you. if you're not too careful. So I don't really know why I'm going to fight this guy. I'm not really interested in fighting him, to be honest. My heart's just not in it. I did mention this before. A good way to kill this guy would be to actually range him. If you're a magician, use some sort of like a soul arrow. If you are a dexterity build, use a bow. Faith wielders don't really have a lot of ranged attack type miracles that they can use. So yeah, so if I'm a faith build, I'd probably just use a bow and arrow and just buy as many arrows as you can from Blige and just plink him away until he dies. That's the best way to go about doing it. Keeps you out of harm's way too. Plus, if you're able to summon some of your friends into the level while you're playing through it, makes it a lot easier as well. On the other side of this large guardian guy, I think you find a sword called the Kalige. It's like a scimitar slashing sword. I actually had one build who used that sword, and it was actually a decent weapon. I think I maxed it out at plus 10, and then I would cast some sort of, I think, light weapon or some sort of buffing agent, and I actually did some decent amount of damage with it. So we're going to use our arrow here, and we're going to draw on this guy. Alright, come on, come on. See if I can backstab. No, I can't. I hate these skeletons. Now notice when they kind of roll forward, they're holding their swords out in front of them. So if you run into their roll, you get hit with that sword. So it's a good idea to keep your distance with those guys if you can. Yeah, this is an archer here, so I'm going to hit him. And let's see, I'm going to have to run up to him, probably take him out like that. My trusty crushing battle axe. You notice off to the left we have a Black Knight dual swordsman. He is going to be a little tough, but I'll show you how to take one of these guys out. Down this hallway you're also going to notice a pressure plate. If you hit that pressure plate, you're going to get an arrow in the back. Okay, right here. So make sure to be aware of that. Okay, so around the entrance here, we're going to try to pull this guy here and try to kill him. So we're going to target him. We're going to get him to do one of his lunge attacks. And then we're going to sidestep around the side of him, and then we come in for the backstab. There we go. I don't do a lot of damage with this crushing battle axe, but it's the only weapon I really have that's quick and I can still use a shield with. See there, I picked up the Adjudicator's shield. The Adjudicator shields is one that gives you a regen ability. And you can equip that. It's not at 100% damage reducing, but it will give you a bit of a regen. I think it's like 90% damage reduction. But like I said, it gives you a regen. You can actually upgrade that with what's called colorless demon souls. And I mentioned one of those, I think, when I was working through Boletaria, World 1-1, right after I killed Executioner Merelda. So the colorless demon souls, you can actually upgrade that shield, you can upgrade boss weapons, and that will actually help a lot to increase your regen. That's one of the nice things I liked about Demon Souls that I did not like about Dark Souls. Dark Souls had the Sanctus shield, and the Adjudicator shield is very, very similar to the Sanctus shield. But the problem with the Sanctus shield is it didn't really refill that quickly. So it would just give you a little bit extra life. It wouldn't fill up as quickly as the Adjudicator would. And also the fact that you could use what's called the Blessed type build, which is what I'm going to do here. You equip a Faith type character with a Blessed weapon, and that Blessed weapon will actually start keying off of your Faith stat. You will actually be able to regen your life with your sword. Plus there was a ring called Regenerator Ring, which I'll show you is actually in this level, and with the Adjudicator shield, and you could run through the entire Valley of Defilement without ever having to worry about healing yourself from poison. Because your shield, your sword or weapon, and your Regenerator Ring would take care of any damage you might remotely take. So let's go ahead and take care of some of these manta rays here. At least that one. I think that one was alright. And down there, a couple of gold knights. We'll see them a little more in depth once we get closer to them. Alright, so back across the bridge, we're going to drop on down here, down the ladder, and head out to the next section. I was actually considering doing a little bit of a playthrough both of Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and so I started kind of working on that. And then Dark Souls 2 came out, so I got a little bit sidetracked, and I was playing quite a bit of Dark Souls 2. But I'm still interested in going through the entire playthrough of Demon's Souls and Dark Souls, and then Dark Souls 2. I have yet to actually beat Dark Souls 2. I'm close, I think, with one of my characters, but I have quite a bit more to go with that. Oh, I like this game. This game's fun. I don't like this level, but I like the graphics in this level. It looks kind of ruined, and it looks eerie and creepy. So I think we're going to have to take out... Let's see, I hear one of those flapping wings. Now there's a manta ray around here. Oh, there, I just saw his tail. There he is. Oh. Oh, okay, so that does go through walls and things like that. So if you get hit in the wrong time with one of those sharp spines, it'll knock you right off the edge of the cliff. And then it'll kill you. And there's no way to get back here without going through the way you just went. There is a shortcut. I'm going to show you that shortcut when we get a little bit farther into the level. But until then, we're just going to have to be very, very careful, because the shortcut is not open. And every single level usually has some form of shortcut. The big ones that I can remember are this one here, 4-1. I also remember there is a shortcut in the Valley of Defilement. I believe 5-2. It's a very nice shortcut. I think there's a shortcut also in 5-1. I think there's a bridge that you can knock down. So I mean, there's shortcuts spread throughout the different levels, because these levels are long, and the guys in here do not pull into punches. They are out to kill you, and they do not stop until you are dead. So you got to be real careful. They have no problem ganging up on you either. Let's top our health off a bit. Now we're going to meet one of our gold knights. And these guys aren't too bad, but they can do a lot of damage on you. They have a huge arcing swing with that weapon they have. But we just need to backstab and kick them off the edge of the cliff. There you go. If you get close to the edge and you're in mid-swing, you might accidentally swing yourself right off the edge of the cliff. So it's important to be careful and to untarget as quick as you can and move away. Come on, come on. Oh, all right, good. Oh, man, took some damage there. There we go. Caught the backstab. All right, throw him off the cliff too. You know, whatever works. Whatever works. So there's one more gold guy down at the end here. We can usually hit him with an arrow. Ah, missed. There we go. And pull him in this way. He's not going to go all the way, though, so we're going to have to make sure that we can pull him without killing ourselves. Get a little closer here. That makes some noise here. Run a little faster. There we go. He sees me. Come on, you gold freak. It's time to die. He's a little slow, isn't he? Alright, come on. These guys make another appearance in 4-2. Okay, a couple swings there. Come on, gotta get the backstab. There we go. These guys are actually in the introduction video, too, to this game. They almost kill one of our nameless knights in the very opening video. Alright, so those guys are dead. Let's go through the next fog gate, and we're going to actually see the shortcut now. So through this door, you see some items over there to the left of us. This is a little area here. There's the boss door, goes off to the right, and to the left here we're going to go grab this item, and we're going to go up to the shortcut area here. Oh, it's Crystal Gecko. Let's get this guy. Okay, come here, Crystal Gecko. Oh, no, no. Oh, crap. Ugh. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I hate crystal geckos, because they can do that to you. Okay, we are back, and I'm going to show you where the shortcut is now. I've taken off all my armor, so I'm a little faster. And right here, you can see how you can roll off and you can land on that wall. That's exactly what you want to do. And you can actually do this in the very beginning of the level. You don't have to go through the entire level like I did. You're going to get a ring. This is the regenerator ring. That's going to regenerate your HP. Now, I generally rock the Cling Ring with maybe the Thief Ring or the Grave Robber's Ring, and I'll show you the Grave Robber's Ring coming up here. I typically don't use the Regenerator Ring, especially because if I'm doing a Faith build, if I'm doing like a Blessed character, that ring is not going to nearly give me as much healing as a weapon plus 5, you know, a Faith build weapon would. So usually I don't use it too much. Now in this room here, we're going to go up this little broken staircase here. We're going to grab some items. And one of these items is something called the Grave Robber's Ring. And the Grave Robber's Ring is almost essential if you're going to be doing any sort of Black Phantom hunting, or as they used to say, BP hunting. It actually hides you from Black Phantoms. So it's a good idea to have that handy if you're going to be doing any sort of hardcore PvP, playing. You might want to have that ring handy. Like I said, I don't know if these servers are really up and running that much anymore. I don't know how much actual play you'll be able to get on the servers nowadays, but just keep it handy. You never know. Alright, so one of our last black swordsmen here. So, backstab. Alright, come on. Two-handed halberd is a nice, decent weapon. Also the weapon called the Mirden hammer. When I used to get invaded by Black Phantoms, one of the weapons of choice for a lot of the players were the Mirden hammer, which ended up being the Lucerne in Dark Souls 1, and then a halberd. They seemed to be able to do a massive amounts of damage with these weapons. And really only because they could keep you at arm's distance. You could never actually hit them. Especially with certain swords. Like I used to use the Knight Sword on my actual Faith build character, and you have to get a little close for that. So if you went up against a guy that had a Mirden hammer or a halberd, he could hold you back and he'd most likely bust your shield and destroy you before you ever got close to him. So this is the Adjudicator. This is the boss for 4-1, and there's two ways you can fight him. The first way is to range attack, and he's only vulnerable at the very top where that bird thing is. His tongue attack hurts like crazy, so you're going to want to make sure to hide in the corner and just keep an eye out on his tongue. Oh crap, I rolled too soon. I died. Okay, that's dumb. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, so we are back. I am ready to kill this guy. I'll show you the other way, the more traditional melee way of fighting him. And you might notice, oh no, there's no bloodstain here. Why not? Well, because I died going back here. Can't believe I died, but I did. So I just lost, was it like 14,000 souls, whatever I had on me? That's annoying. But that's a Souls game for you. Never can be too careful, and anytime you have a lot of souls on you, you're bound to die and lose them. So the secret is here, the only place you can damage him to take off his HP is the top of his head. So like I said, you can do a ranged attack on him, or you can use your axe or your sword and you could attack him in the side here where he has this gigantic piece of blade sticking out of his side. If you hit that, it won't take off life, but it will eventually make him fall down, and then you can take him out by attacking the bird on top of his head. And yes, it is a bird. The Adjudicator shield also has a picture of this boss on it. If you've ever looked at it really carefully, it's got a picture of the Adjudicator on the Adjudicator shield. So, interesting. So I'm just going to do the same tactic. I'm going to side strafe to my left, and eventually he will come down. Two-hand my halberd. 111, nice. That'll work well. Yes, another 111. 333, perfect. 444, beautiful. I'm going to do that exact same technique, and we'll just whittle him down slowly. Okay, so we are back. As you can see, I've whittled him down a pretty significant amount. The next time he drops should be the last time. He shouldn't be able to get up out of that. You see the weapon he's carrying is actually a gigantic cleaver. It's called the meat cleaver, and it is absolutely brutal. It's an ultra heavy weapon though, so it requires a lot of strength, a lot of stamina to wield it effectively. But a lot of times you would see guys come into your world that would invade you that would have the meat cleaver, and they would have like a stun block attack, and it would absolutely murder you. So two-hand, one swipe, takes out the Adjudicator. He's dead. It's going to net us a good amount of souls here. We're going to revive, go back to human form. There's my Adjudicator trophy there. So that's always good. I love that sound. And we netted ourselves 12,870. So that's not a bad haul. So we're going to touch the Archstone. We're going to get the Swollen Demon Soul. And there's a couple things that we did not pick up. So let's go ahead and grab a few of those items. Next episode, I think we're going to go to Tower of Latria. I think we're going to do 3-2. Grab that key, show you how to grab that, and we'll move on to the boss of that one. Other than that, we have the Valley of Defilement, which I haven't shown you guys yet, and that is not a very fun place to go. I don't like the Valley of Defilement. The first level is probably the hardest of all of them, and it's just annoying. Let's backstab this guy, teach him a lesson. There we go. And dead. There we go. Get ourselves an extra 1,300 souls. Alright, so that's going to be that. We're going to go ahead and warp back to the Nexus. Hope you guys have enjoyed this playthrough so far. I love this game. It's a fantastic game. So if you haven't played it, suggest go out, give it a try. Anyway, we'll see you next time back here on 3GB Solo Play.